What's up, everybody? It's your boy Keefy. It's Friday night, Friday the 13th. That's Psycho, not Friday the 13th. It's the weekly ritual, Ghost Cult Mags, rock and metal news show everywhere in the world, streaming all over the web, podcast, YouTube, whatnot. Had some technical difficulties the last 25 minutes. I should have went live earlier. I'm working on a better schedule, going live on Friday. This show is usually live on Thursday. It's been Friday the last few weeks. I hope that's cool with everybody. The best experience for this show, if you're new here, is YouTube, where you can give us super chats, super likes, become a member, get all our interview videos and our preview videos first, and as well as Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, and I'm hanging out on TikTok because I like it so much. But yeah, this is your conversation. This is my conversation. Feel free to join in. We are here every week. What we do is 24/7 rock and metal news. We interview bands all over the world. We cover metal festivals and tours. We've got a whole bunch of shows to cover this weekend all over the world. I think 3 or 4 tomorrow. We had one last night in New York. It's just a lot. We'll drop the tip menu in just a bit. We are an independent music journalistic endeavor. So we're a small business. So your support helps us survive. We're trying to build a real community. There's so much fake news and bullshit out there that I honestly can't take it. Bella Kiss is here. Thanks for checking out our profile earlier, Bella Kiss. Rosa Alaño is here. What up, what up? Thank you for being here. And thanks to you. Let's see. He Saves the World passing by. What up, homie? Decino Anthony. Chris Doe Bass. Rubber Band Man. What up, what up, what up, what up? Happy Friday. Thanks for being here late on a Friday for most of y'all in the world, but just Friday night here for me. So without further ado, I'm going to play. Actually, I have a new thing. And Melissa's here. My fiance is here. I'm getting married, y'all. I'm so excited. So this is pretty great. I started doing a thing a couple of weeks ago where I share the worst comments we've got in a week on social media, mostly directed at me often because I'm kind of the face of the brand, although we have, 60 people all over the world who do this, and I interview bands on YouTube, and a bunch of other people do too. But I seem to get the most ire directed at me, and sometimes rightfully so, and I'm okay with that. It's no biggie. So we always start the show with some announcements, and I've got a few good ones this week. We are still giving away tickets. If you're in California or Arizona or Nevada or within striking distance of LA, or you just love Echo and the Bunnymen, you could win a pair of tickets to see Echo and the Bunnymen in just 2 months. 2 months from now. I'm getting married in 4 months from now, which is crazy. But 2 months from now, Echo and the Bunnymen are playing the Greek Theater in Los Angeles. Incredible venue. We have one here in the Bay Area as well. And you can win a pair of tickets to see them. They are doing kind of a greatest hits tour, which is amazing. This weekend in New York, already underway, the International Wacken Metal Battle of the bands to play at Wacken Open Air and open the humongous world's biggest metal festival. We are a longtime media partner of Wacken Metal Battle. What does that mean? We share all the news. We promote the events. And this time we're taking part in one of the events. My co-owner, Omar Cordy, is currently at the Wacken Metal Battle right now in Brooklyn, judging the bands. 6 bands tonight, 6 bands tomorrow. So if you're in the New York City area, pause on the screen, check out the flyers, check out our socials where we've shared those posts, and you can perhaps attend and support your friends that play in bands and discover some cool new bands. And some of them may go on to do phenomenal, fantastic things all over the world. All right, continuing. I'm trying hard not to dwell on too much bad news or sad news, but of course, this week would have been the birthday of the one and only Vincent Paul Abbott of Pantera, Hell Yeah, and Damage Plan. I got to meet Vinny once. I saw Pantera many times. I saw Hell Yeah a few times. I saw Damage Plan the one time right before Daryl was killed. Love Vinny. One of the greatest drummers ever. Pantera is amazing. Still amazing music. And we're still feeling his loss. Just sort of on a minor note, New York City area people, of which we have an abundance that follow us because I used to be, I'm from the area and I used to live there. Longtime ABC News anchor Ernie Anastas died. He put together like one of the best 10 or 11-year runs in history in television news. Guy was brilliant and a great newsman. Thank you, E. Love to see you. Yeah, karaoke. Thanks so much. Yeah. Yeah, glad to see you. I hope you're well. I miss you. When we get back east, hopefully later this year, we will look you up because you live in the same area as my bestie. My other bestie, besides the one I'm marrying, my other BFF. But yeah, we're doing a big Oscar party karaoke this week. I'll show you the flyer in a second. It's pretty hilarious. So anyway, rest in power to Vinnie Paul. Jello Biafra, last week we had done the show also on Friday, and we found out Monday that Saturday, if you follow that logic, Jello had a stroke in his home. He is going to make a recovery. He's rehabbing. Generally speaking, he's going to be okay, but, pretty scary stuff as guys like myself. I'm getting older and everybody's getting older. And, my goal, one of my dreams is to meet Jello in person since I moved to the Bay Area. I've seen him at shows. I've seen him jump on stage and do Dead Kennedy songs with punk bands and metal bands, but I've never got to meet him just man on the street. So I hope he recovers and I still get to fulfill my wish. Also, the band Filth, I've interviewed them last year, Southeastern deathcore band from North Carolina. They were in a terrible van accident. The band is okay. Most of their gear is okay. Most of their merch was okay. Their van was totaled. They're currently on tour. They rented an RV, but the van repair or replacement is going to cost a fortune. There's already been a GoFundMe set up. There's a link in our description or in our link tree to our description in our socials where you can donate to them. And, just again, not our real ones or everydayers or our real life friends, but anybody out there feeling tipsy, we appreciate your tips. They help pay the bills. We take every penny we make from Ghost Cult and we put it back into the brand so I can go to festivals and we can pay for tools and social media things and video editing software and all the things. Because this shit ain't free and it takes a lot of work and a lot of person hours. So I just dropped the tip menu if you feel like tipping. Hey, Steve, Slayzilla. Steve is here. Jamie Blevins, James, Matt. Some folks, some everydayers and real ones. I appreciate y'all. But thanks, E. You're very much missed and loved here in San Francisco in the Bay Area, E. E-Town Concrete. Fuck the world because the world fucked me. All right. There's our Cash App in case you're feeling tipsy. Moving right along. It's time for the features. And the features this week are fun. So here's this. I'm going to start doing this thing where I read my hate mail during the show. I did a live stream. I'm going to talk about it in a minute this week where I reviewed the new Lamb of God album out today. Going to talk a lot about Lamb of God this week on the show. Jesus, just talk about the damn record, dude. And I wrote back, cool, dude. Thanks for the help with the algorithm. Geddy Lee's Owl Nose, which seems kind of racist. I know he calls himself that, and I think he's got a little EP called that also. But, I'm out here trying to do the thing. At least I'm trying to do something creative and positive to uplift the music community. But go ahead, pick on me. Douchebags. Anyway, we announced our album of the month, and it's Pussifer, Normal Isn't. This is for February. The March album of the month will be announced in early April. Funny enough, after I shared it on Instagram, Maynard James Keenan of Pussifer shared our post, which is really awesome and rad. It doesn't often happen. So thanks, I am the briefcase, a.k.a. Maynard James Keenan, for sharing our post. Other features this week, I got to check another one off the bucket list. I have not yet interviewed Maynard of Tool, Pussifer, and A Perfect Circle, but I have interviewed Sebastian Bach. High school me would have been stoked because I love Skid Row. And Baz was awesome. I think a lot of people do bad interviews with Baz for whatever reason. They're trying to be antagonistic and get clickbait, but he's a delight, actually. Maybe I'm not in a band with him, so I don't know him off stage, but he kills it still. His recent album, Child Within the Man, is out now. He's going on tour. I hope we cover the tour. Really cool. I was really proud of this one. Also, this week, I got to interview Todd Severin of Ripple Music. He's the founder and co-founder and leader of Ripple Music, the great stoner metal label. psychedelic rock, stoner doom. I attended the Ripple Music 15th anniversary party. I did not have a piece of that cake, but I did buy a shirt and I did support all the bands that night. And I got to meet Todd in person, which was amazing. We have probably been at a lot of the same shows. Also, just recent interviews, in addition to Alex Skolnick of Testament and William Duvall of Alice in Chains, we interviewed Necrophire, the great American black metal band from Houston. Their upcoming Hell's Heroes Festival is next weekend. We'll be talking about that on the show next week. But a lot of fun stuff. Also, we did the the debut album of Salt Lake City's cosmic black metal band, Osmium Gate, and their new album, Cannibal Galaxy. We streamed it in full. You can still check it out at our site. And killer band. I'm super hype about this. We still have kind of our original mandate, which is to support and uplift underground bands. Nice. E saves the world with the E-Town Concrete lyrics. Joni Romans is here, and Neclo Records is here. What up, what up, what up? So yeah, fun times. Lots of fun times. Let's see what else happened this week. What happened? Morrissey. I have a love-hate relationship with Morrissey. I don't like Morrissey. He's a terrible person. I love the Smiths. So Morrissey put out a new solo album, and our own Wilsifer did sort of a hybrid review / analysis of his career, his recent career, comparing his solo work to the Smiths and giving kind of a loving overview of the new record. That is actually apparently good. I did hear a couple of songs and I was quite impressed. I normally don't want to give my attention to people when there's so many deserving bands, but I thought this thing was written so well and done so smart that I had to share it. I'm sure if I didn't share it, he just posted on his own blog. You can follow Will at Abysmal Hymns, wherever you listen to podcasts. I sometimes pop up on that podcast. I think I will be doing an episode with Will soon. More episodes on Ghost Cults podcast coming up soon with our own staff. I'm trying to spend more time highlighting and accentuating our staff this year because it's just, as a volunteer enterprise, you can't pay people in credit or exposure, but what you can do is get people to support them. And as I mentioned, hurry up and speak about the record already, dumbass. Lamb of God Into Oblivion out now. We have a deep dive review on our website. I did an in-depth review here on YouTube and streaming and podcasts, which you can check out now if you're on the fence. The album fucking slaps, as the kids say. Also, here's that poster, E. Karaoke Sundays continues every Sunday with me and my co-host, Chris. This week we're doing an Oscar party. No, we're not watching the Oscars, but what we're going to do is everybody that sings a song from a movie, you will get a prize. I have amassed a bunch of prizes, some cool stuff, some fancy stuff, some not fancy stuff, but just a cool thing to do in general. I will sing some metal and rock songs from movies and maybe a few other surprises. Chris will also as well. Chris is quite the cinephile, so we're going to have a good time. If you're in the Bay Area, come on by. First 5 people to show up get a free drink. Just a reminder, we have a podcast. This show is a podcast. All our interviews and content are podcasts. And sometimes we have exclusive stuff on podcasts, including our recent interview with Warren Haynes of Allman Brothers and Government Mule, and our upcoming interview with Kirk Winstein of Crowbar, which will be just on our podcast. So sign up today. And because I don't have enough to do, I have another job. That job is the Glacially Musical Podcast, Beer, Metal, and Swearing. This week, for a Chaser episode, we took a deep dive look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Is it BS? Is it not? Will Iron Maiden get in? I don't know. Will other people get in? I don't know. But we handicapped and forecasted the entire thing. For better or worse. We'll find out in 3 weeks who gets in. Iron Maiden gets in or we riot. Some of the choices are just bizarre. And some of the nominees are bizarre. Like, I don't know who's listening to this music. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, now it's time for the news rundown. And we always start with metal festivals. Let me take a drink of my Liquid Death. I don't know if anybody has checked out the new Liquid Death energy drinks. But, yeah. Strum Rock is here also. What's up? What's up? Let's see what else. Metal festivals. Let's go. Warped Tour has now completely announced their lineups for Montreal and Mexico City. So we're waiting on Washington, D.C., Long Beach, and Orlando for the final reveal. And then we'll do a big rundown of them all. Maybe I'll do a live stream about it. Mojave Experience is next week, and I am going. This time next week, I will be at the Mojave Experience at Joshua Tree. I'm so pumped. There's a Friday night pre-party at Yucca Gold, and then Saturday all day at the festival. If you're coming, there's gonna sell out, but there's still some tickets. Earthless, Dead Meadow, John Garcia, Acid King, and many more. I'm going to interview some of these bands. Hopefully, we're going to have a table with free merch from Ghost Cult and other things, and feel free to come check it out. Also, speaking of stoner rock, psychedelic rock, and Dune, Planet Desert Rock Weekend 7 has been announced. I really would like to get to one of these in Vegas the end of January. Greenleaf, Black Rainbows, Stake, a kind of interesting Black Rainbows leader is the head of Heavy Psych Sounds label. Stake's leader is that singer, is the head of Desert Fest. Sergeant Thunderhoof from Europe coming back this year. Humulus, Brimstone, Coven, Child, Droids Attack, Sundrifter, Carson, Shun, Florist, Winds of Neptune at the Usual Place, which is the actual name of a place, the Usual Place, in Las Vegas, January 28th to the 31st. 2027. Also, this looks really cool. Emissions from the Monolith, 10th anniversary. This is in October in Youngstown, Ohio. Transmission 1, Deadbird, Disengage, Generation of Vipers, Rebreather, Solace, Stinking Lizaveta, Sunrot, Telekinetic Yeti, and more. Love these bands. On day 2, Cavity, Echo Chuli, Great Falls, High Desert Queen, Horse Burner. I love these bands. Howling Giant. I'm going to see them soon. Kowloon Wall City from the Bay Area. Oaktown. What's up? Lake, Wake, Shun, Thunder Chief. Today is the day. Winds of Neptune and more to come. Might have to cover this. Also, this looks really cool. Brought to you by Stoke Coffee. This is the side stage of Beach Life Festival is always acoustic punk and hardcore people. So Mike Watt, Jim Lindberg of Pennywise, Jen Pop, Jason DeVore, Water Tower, The Sprouts, Righteous Waves, Jackie Wasserman, Jonah Nimoy, Chad Smith, Lisa Johnson, Lisa Brownlee, Jason Abrams. This is a really good lineup on top of Beach Life Fest that always has kind of decent rock and punk artists. That was 2 decents and not a great, but I think it's a pretty good lineup if you like that kind of thing. I think being on the beach physically for a festival could be really hard on your back and knees. I'm getting to that age. I was in bed last weekend. Nothing dirty, but I was in bed last weekend and I hurt my shoulder trying to hug my fiance. What a fucking mess. How do you get injured laying in bed? I did. Fuck. All right. Hellfest, not the French Hellfest that happens every year in Clisson, France, outside of Paris, but Hellfest, the punchy hardcore festival from New Jersey, brought to you by Trustkill Records. I know there's a competing Hellfest now where the original Hellfest founder feels like he got the thing taken away from him. Hatebreed, Glassjaw, First Blood, Bayway, VOD, 100 Demons, tons and tons and tons of bands already announced for this thing and more to come. Hatebreed, I think, is doing a special set of their first EP and album, and there's a bunch of other special announcements coming there. This also looks really cool, coming to Brooklyn in May. Total Bummer Fest. It's kind of like an 80s festival, right? Dinosaur Jr., Blonde Redhead, Meat Puppets, Flipper. These are bands that I saw growing up. And then on the May 31st, Jesus and Mary Chain, Julie, they are Gutting a Body of Water. Just a bunch of cool bands. That's curated by my homie, David Castillo of Confines and Primitive Weapons. Not that I cared this much about this, but this is the second time I've mentioned Outside Lands. They did release the daily schedule. So if you really want to see Turnstile at this thing at Golden Gate Park, I could see Friday being fun with Charlie XCX and Turnstile. Also Glorilla, Geese, Modest Mouse, Wet Leg, Tinashe, and a few others, and Spits and people like that. The rest of this festival doesn't do much for me, but if this is your kind of thing, go check it out. All right, that's all the festivals this week. Next week, we're going to talk a lot more about Mojave Experience. I might do a live stream about Mojave Experience. I definitely might live stream from the area, and I'm definitely going to be posting a lot of stuff on social media. Metallica. So we've been talking a lot about Metallica at the Sphere. The band has announced that they don't have any further planned shows right now to add on to the current dates. They're beyond stoked that 20 of those shows sold out quickly, even before the public on sale in most cases. Some people did, in fact, get in and get cheaper tickets, but the majority of the tickets were $1,000 and up, the vast majority of them. Like 85% of the tickets were over $1,000 for people each. That's not counting travel. That's not counting how expensive Vegas is. Nothing. The band did say they were saddened and frustrated, that fans felt frustrated about the process, that the technical stuff didn't work, and they're hoping when they announce more Sphere shows in the future, but not directly following this current amount, they will do it again apparently someday because it's astronomically profitable for them and, the Sphere. I'm sure they'll do it again. They hope it goes better, but really not a great answer. Last time Metallica was caught in some chicanery bullshit like this, they added a second show or additional shows to pay back the fans, locked in prices and things like that. No chance of them doing that this time. Bummer. Fucking bummer. Lamb of God, again, new album out. They are playing a $15 show in Philly tomorrow, Saturday, at the Theater of Living Arts. I've been there. Fun place. Lamb of God and Fit for an Autopsy. Sunday, March 15th. My apologies. And there will be 50 tickets available at the door if you get there early and stand out there all day. The rest of the tickets have been sold out. I've been to that place. It doesn't hold that many. It's kind of a small venue, but fun. To see Lamb of God in a tiny place again like that would be rad. Killswitch Engage is heading out soon with Machine Head, Iron Reagan, and Havoc. We talked about this recently. Machine Head will come up again in a few minutes. Smash Into Pieces, cool band. Featuring members of Within Temptation, have European and Sweden tour dates and festivals booked for the summer. They've been putting out new music at a pretty interesting clip, kind of singles at few singles at a time, basically. Gozer is here. What's up, everybody? Bella Kiss is here. Kenny, what up, brother? Kenny Hickey of Sun Don't Shine, formerly of Forever of Typo Negative, I guess. Great to see you on the tick of the talk. See who's hanging out. Rubberman, Total Bummer looks sick, right, man? The Hellfest flyer is crazy. Elysia making a comeback. I did not. Ken Kaltenbach is here. I did not have Elysia coming back ever. I'm pretty sure there was like some fucking acrimony with those guys, and I'm really shocked that they are coming back. But it's not because of money, because they're playing that festival probably for free. But they'll sell some merch if they make any. COC's got a lot of big news. This tour's kicking off soon. COC, Whores, and Crowbot. Some awesome bands that I love. More COC news in a second. Drain has announced a headline tour. Drain Is Your Friend album is out now. I have that record from last year. No Pressure, Haywire, and Secret World. Drain put out an anti-ice shirt that I gotta say, has raised $40,000 for immigrant families in need of legal aid and other benefits. So that is super cool. You like to see there's a lot of charity stuff going on. There's a lot of people talking a lot of shit, but not putting their money where their fucking mouth is in any fucking way. But, yeah. Sepultura will soon kick off their continuing celebrating life through death farewell tour, their final dates. Supposedly, we keep hearing that, and then they keep booking more. But good for them. Sepultura, Exodus, Biohazard. This is like a tour out of and I think Tribal Gaze. This is like a tour out of my dreams. I love all these bands. New Down album on the way for sure. It's going to get announced soon. I was surprised they put that cover out, Ken, but it's pretty great. So it'd be interesting to see COC and Down touring at the same time, and Crowbar, and I Hate God, because we know those bands are all coming on tour. More to come on those. All right. Sacred Reich will continue over in Europe, kicking off this summer. Some pretty killer opening bands with them. New Sacred Reich album yet to be announced, but hopefully coming soon. Big fan right here. The Amon Clock tour is coming soon in April. We'll be talking about this a lot in the future. Believe we'll be covering this at the kickoff date in Tucson. Machine Head, once again, has announced an Evening with European tour soon to kick off. They have been sharing a lot of live videos along with some of their festival appearances the last couple of years. And today, they brought back their Electric Happy Hours on Friday, and they did a run-through, like a complete playthrough today of the More Things Change, their classic second album that I'm a humongous fan of, love Machine Head. And they put out some merch for that. You know, they're very clever and smart when it comes to marketing and merch. They own their own merch company, 10 Ton Merchandising, very, shout out to them. Des Rocks has got a North American tour already underway, and perhaps we will catch this tour, unsure yet. Also, with the Pussifer tour looming, we have some Pussifer news coming up soon. Pussifers, I know Pussifer is also, like I said, our album of the month for February. They're going to do some wine tastings, Caduceus Cellars and Merkin Vineyards, pre-show wine tasting events. I don't know if the band will be there, but could be cool. Phoenix, Austin, Dallas, Asheville, North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina, St. Louis, Missouri, St. Louis, again, at another place, maybe a day apart, Kansas City, and Red Rocks before their Red Rocks, Colorado show. Never been to Red Rocks. I would really love to go. Drug Church dropped a new single, and they have announced a big tour for later this year in Europe in the fall with Downward and Liquid Mike. And some of them are festivals, and for the most part, it's headline dates. Good for them. Pure Noise Records band. Again, Sebastian Bach just interviewed him, kicking off his headline tour soon. We hope to cover it. Love Baz. Also, as I mentioned, Crowbar and I Hate God. Not only do they have a U.S. tour, they're going back on tour. Crowbar has announced European tour dates as well. I didn't have the poster handy. I'm going to actually miss this Crowbar I Hate God show when it is around the corner from my house because I'm busy hosting karaoke. Why are these shows on Sunday in San Francisco? Put it on a Friday. Whitechapel has announced some tour dates for later this year, headline tour dates, and later this year in early 27, already thinking to 2027, I do believe Whitechapel will have a new album soon, even though they had one not too long ago. Kind of cool. All right, what else? Psy has announced their first tour in like 20 years. Melissa texted me, was like, this logo is giving me a headache. I didn't put the poster in here, but Psy is one of the great Japanese doom bands of all time. Been lucky enough to see them once way back in the day, a long time ago. And I never thought they would really get back here again because it's so expensive and hard to tour here. Because the U.S., we make it hard on everyone. Nobody expects the Wolverine. That's right, the Wolverine. Just take this in for a second and look at this while I take a drink. Like, whoever did this is a goddamn genius. The way you make me. Anyway. Once again, tip menu in case you're feeling tipsy. Time to talk about Fable Beard. I don't have much of my Fable Beard products with me, but I have them on me. My beard has been getting a lot of compliments. Last week, I unboxed a bunch of Fable Beard merch. I have the Father Time Beard Balm right here in my hands here. I don't think anybody can see me off the screen. Hey-o! I got the Father Time Beard Balm right here. Between this and the new beard butter and the beard oils and the co-wash, my beard is doing about as well as ever. I really would love to grow a long-ass beard, like a real Father Time beard, but this stuff has been helping. My facial hair is at least healthier than it has ever been. I still have no hair up here, so hats all the time. But, whatever. Hats off to Fable Beard for hooking it up. Other affiliate partners we have, of course, include the Lamb Goat Media Network. Lamb Goat, the meaner version of Ghost Cult with the horrible comment section. But I will be honest with you, that comment section gets millions of extra hits that we don't get because I don't do one, because I don't have the heart to moderate that shit. But when you see advertising at ghostcultmag.com, that is from Lamb Goat. Whenever we have big contest hookups, a lot of it comes from Lamb Goat. Check them out if you have anything you need to promote in general, because they have a huge reach. but also especially if you have a metal band, a metal label, a metal store, a clothing brand, something that integrates with this vertical, these verticals to talk marketing speak to you. You need Lamb Goat for the power of good word of mouth. Better than word of mouth. And once again, shout out to my homie Craig Caruso of Caruso Apps. We've been having some issues with the I do the yells is here. What's up? We've been having some issues with the website because, we got a 14-year-old website built on WordPress that was never meant to do all this shit, but Craig keeps us in business and going strong, and I'm grateful for him. If you have any kind of business, Craig is a longtime trusted friend and ally of Ghost Cult, and I recommend him highly. And once again, if you're watching this everywhere but TikTok, sorry TikTok, you are watching this through the grace and the magic of StreamYard. If you want to stream like we do, get it hooked up from StreamYard. And that is all that. Let us move on. We're on all the socials, Twitch, Threads, Blue Sky, all the things. If you're there, give us a follow. We'll follow you back when we're done here tonight. And now it's time for the rest of the news. I'm going to put the news back up in the corner. Hey-yo. All right. So, Live Nation. Okay. I've had a really great day overall. Worked really hard. But I'm going to lose my shit right now for a few minutes. So you're going to have to come along with this level of psychosis that I'm about to share with you all, because this is my platform. This is my voice. Live Nation had their lawsuit settled by the current U.S. Department of Justice, a.k.a. no justice and barely a department, for $280 million. Just to put that into perspective, Live Nation, Ticketmaster, whatever they own, they make about $280 million every 4 days. So that is bullshit to them. They gave a couple of $100 million to the current president's campaign on the idea that this would happen. I know he talked a lot of shit with Kid Rock that they were going to call Live Nation to account. Even the slap on the wrist they got before the pandemic, when everybody got like $2.50 or $10 vouchers that were almost unusable. I mean, do you remember all that? I can't believe these guys got away with that. They're being forced to sell off like 10 venues that they use part-time that are in disrepair. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Don't make them pay. I mean, I can't believe that. I can and I can't, I cannot believe the level of greed and incompetence and stupidity by our government for not nailing these fuckers. And listen, we work with Live Nation. We cover Live Nation shows. I'm appreciative of that. I used to be a concert photographer. They own all the venues. They own the two biggest companies. They own the entire resale market. Outside of like StubHub and Game Time, they are the number one reseller of tickets. They are in bed with a bunch of bands to hike up the price of tickets. The dynamic pricing is fucking evil. And I cannot fucking believe that another fucking year is going to go by and no one is going to call these guys to account. Fuck this company. I have to use them because if we want to go cover festivals and shows, they run the venues, the marketing, the ticketing, everything. But it's utter bullshit. It's utter bullshit. You should call your congressmen and senators and ask them what the fuck happened, because I don't understand why they fucking settled. What a crock of complete bullshit. Dillinger Compound is here. I'm sorry, buddy. A little slow on the uptick here. The whole Metallica residencies of the debacle. And screw Live Nation. Testify, brother. Thank you. Look, man, I love Metallica, and they're guilty of this shit too. They made a choice to make these tickets extremely high. They didn't have to. They could have made them less. The Grateful Dead's tickets were $348 all in per ticket. I know Don DeLamont of Ghost Cult and Talking the Talk with Don and Southeast of Heaven went 3 nights in a row with his wife. They're huge Deadheads. This is their whole life. And they didn't know the Dead was going to, that Bob was going to die, and they were probably going to, remorph the band into something else without Bob. Bob knew he was sick. I don't think anybody else knew outside the band. And, they paid for it. They are, older, and this is their band. They met because, they love, their love for that band is ginormous. But fuck Ticketmaster, bro. Fuck them. And AEG is just as fucking bad. They're all kind of bad. They should not be allowed to do this. Oh, they're giving money back they're cutting the merch cut, and they're going to give money to staff and crew and this and this and that. Yeah, that's all bullshit. That was all smoke and mirrors to burnish their reputation a little bit, because it's literally polishing a fucking turd. I'm just ranting now. Anyway, fuck Live Nation. That's where I stand. And you know what? If they hold it against us and we don't get to cover Live Nation shit anymore, there's plenty of underground bands that need support. So whatever the fuck. On to some positive news. The feel-good story of the week. Jack Osbourne welcomed another daughter. I think it's his 5th or 6th on his second marriage. And named his daughter Ozzy. His daughter Ozzy Matilda Osbourne was born. I think she's 7 pounds, 4 ounces. And apparently Ozzy was informed of the pregnancy, that he would have another grandchild right before he passed away. So I know Ozzy was a loving grandfather to all Jack's children and Kelly's son. So congrats, Jack. And there's a new Ozzy in the world. We only had to go like 8-9 months without an Ozzy Osbourne. There's a new Ozzy Osbourne. Maybe someday Ozzy Matilda Osbourne will become a huge singer. I don't know. Anything's possible. Lamb of God new album Into Oblivion is out now. We talked a lot about that. Pop-up show. Merch levels are selling out of their vinyl. Absolutely one of the strongest records of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the album of the year for some people. It might be mine. As my fiance Melissa said, we have listened to it like 15, 20 times in a little bit of time that it's before it came out, because I got the pre-stream as a press member. That's how I was able to do my review a few days ago. Check it out. If you're on the fence, there are no skips, no filler. It's like under 40 minutes. It's absolutely fucking crushing. I'm really proud of them. I'm proud that I've been a fan of this band for 26 years. Devin Townsend has finally announced The Moth. He released a new single in Visualizer. I have been part of Debbie's Patreon. If you haven't seen him post mostly on social media anymore, he moved everything over to Patreon, where he has a great following. He is directly monetized by his fans. He's worked on this record for like parts of it for like 10 years. It's sort of like a rock opera with a concept story. I know that a lot of people are speculating and worried about Devin. He said he wasn't going to tour that much anymore as his children get older, but like Debbie is incredible. He's had a tremendous career, like 9 Lives, like a cat, like almost like Bowie, where he kind of, or Madonna, where they change over time and stay kind of consistent for the most part, but closer to Bowie, except metal sometimes. I love Devin Townsend. I'm really excited for this. I've interviewed Devin Townsend a bunch of times. I look forward to possibly interviewing him again for The Moth if he's into it. But he is kind of shunning traditional media and stuff also. So I don't know if he will want to do an interview. But we've had a really great rapport over the years, so I'm really proud of that. Boy, Ghost fans, if there are Ghost fans watching and listening to this, are you okay? Besties, come talk to me. Let's have some real talk for a second. I know I've been wild with this Live Nation and Metallica shit getting on me, but like let's bring it down for a second and talk directly. Ghost fans, I'm talking to you. Are you okay? Because Ghost apparently killed off Cardinal Copia in the latest chapter 25 of their ongoing video saga. As we know, Tobias Forge said he's taking a break from the band, and he's going to kind of dial it all back for Ghost for the next little while. And Ego Sebastos is here, and Peaceful Moon is here. So I'm going to just use my NPR voice and say, is everyone okay in Ghostland? It's okay if you're not okay. It was already not, they're not coming back for a long time, probably, unless there's some astronomical thing. And if they come back, they might not come back the way they were on this big arena tour. But they killed off your guy. Now, did they kill Papa V? I don't think so. I think they just killed Cardinal Copia, Cardi C, because it was time. He's been around for a while. I know, a lot of people are broken. Did you see the hacked photos of a Slack discussion between 2 employees who basically called Yes. So I also heard about this, Dillinger, just to bring it back for a second. I briefly saw that earlier today, but I had my head down on work and Ghost Cult, and I just like, yeah, fuck them. I mean, I'm not surprised. Don't you, we like, this is not new. This is not new. The resentfulness of these corporate fucks. Listen, I worked in the corporate world for a long time, and I may yet again someday. But the reason I'm a refugee from that part of the world is because fuck the world. Fuck people. Fuck business people. Carlin said it best about business people. Everybody is trying to fuck the other guy harder and faster before they figure out how to fuck him first or fuck them first. So fuck this. Anyway, yes, fuck those guys. Everybody leak everything. WikiLeaks, everything leaks. Leak the Epstein files, leak everybody. If I find out people I like and respect are in the files, fuck them too. Omar of Ghost Cult liked to say, like, oh, what if that stuff about Maynard and Trent was true? We know that was all false, where they were trying to be called out during the height of Me Too. But yeah, if it was proven that somebody I really love and respect was horrible, I would not follow them anymore or support them. Plain and simple. But okay, Ghost fans are not okay. One thing that might cheer you up is that Super 7 is releasing a new Papa Perpetua Super 7. So that's coming soon. I believe it's the Ultimates version. So I have a few of these. I'm probably not going to get this one, but it's very sparkly. Rammstein is selling off gifts that have been given to them by fans. I cannot show most of them because they are fucking X-rated. But one of them is a penis-shaped flute that apparently the band has never played because you have to put your lips on the, what end. But Rammstein has a Rammstein store in Berlin where they sell their merch and stuff, and their Balenciaga collabs and $800 fanny packs and $1,000 t-shirts if you're into such high fashion and things like that. I'm not. Love Rammstein. Don't know what the future is going to be of them. It seems like Till is focusing on a solo career. But I'd like to hear from them if they're going to do a new album or not. Don't know, but it'd be nice. All right. But yeah, Rammstein store. If you're interested in these merch items, you can go look at them on their Instagram, including like crocheted monkey puppets and penis flutes and other probable used sex toys and things that were given to them. Gross. Please wash your toys, everybody. All right. Just after a month or two of Elisa White Glue's going solo and leaving Arch Enemy, aka maybe being dismissed but leaving, we don't know, and being replaced by Lauren Hart, formerly of Once Human, she has announced that her solo career is now taking the form of a all-female band called Blue Medusa. She's got 2 ringers on guitar and some touring musicians for bass and drums. Work continues on her solo career. I wish her the best. I think she did a very nice job in Arch Enemy. It was a very tough position to come in there and follow Angela. And listen, like, I take full accountability for the fact that we said that, like, maybe Angela was coming back. She's never been on their socials. They've never tagged Angela ever before since she left the band in 2011. And then suddenly they were tagging her in these teasers as the manager of the band. But, people don't mostly know that. And she had been posting vocal covers and doing features the last couple of years and still sounding great. So I thought maybe Angela would come back for a reunion tour and do like a greatest hits thing. But no. And respect to her. Respect to her for that, too. Ghost Pipe is here. Laying the Ghost Pipe. Hey-o. Pussifer, one more bit of Pussifer news. The album of the month, Normalisms, is out now, and they have released episode 2 of the Pussiferverse comic book. The first one sold out instantaneously, and they have not mentioned if they can get one. If anyone out there can get me one at a reasonable price, I will reward you handsomely and generously. If you can get me issue 1, I will not pay $400 or $500 for one on eBay. I don't collect comic books anymore outside of these music comic books. Occasionally I'll get a book or 2 that I like. Certain authors that I like, Garth Ennis, Jimmy Palmiotti, but I just don't see myself paying through the nose for this issue number 1 if they don't repress it. But anyway, they also have a concurrent podcast hosted by Maynard, aka Dick Merkin, and the Pussiferverse expanding the Pussifer universe that will be also explored on the upcoming Normal Isn't tour, which I'm pretty excited about. I'm going. Jonathan Davis the vocalist of Korn, is going to be a NASCAR Grand Marshal this week. Holy shit. A strange collab. I remember when Slayer had the NASCAR car, and then it got yanked at the last second because of the outcry of Christian NASCAR fans. Jonathan, who has been a vocal critic of religion in general, who is in a band with several, let's just call it politely, Jesus freaks, It's an interesting choice to have Korn, the front man of Korn. But I love Korn, and Korn is taking a long break apparently on making new music. But that doesn't mean they're done as a band. Forever and Ever Music Management's here. What's up? What's up? And Zena Kozokova is here. I hope I said that correctly. You sound like my people. All right. I love this photo. This is 6 Feet Under's Chris Barnes and Jack Owen, who kind of look like the young guy. The son is taking the dad to his first metal concert ever. And he's like, look, he did the thing. He did the because that's how Barnes sounds now. He sounds terrible. I know he was the innovator and legendary singer of 6 Feet, of Cannibal Corpse first bunch of records. And listen, man, respect. I don't know what I'll be doing in 10 years when I'm that old, but like, oh my God, dude. Anyway, he probably has the best weed though. Who do you think has the best drugs in all of music, like heavy music? Like, who has the best drugs? I would say probably Barnes has some of the best weed. Surely, my dude from Insight gave us, Richie Cavallera gave us some weed dispensary recommendations for California and Arizona. And I've asked a couple of the stoner bands about weed, and they're always a little shy about that because they don't want to get stopped by cops. But yeah, Barnes, nothing personal, whatever. I met him in person, and he was nice to me. But like, are you excited about a new 6 Feet Under record? I am not, but okay. Let's see. Megadeth celebrated. They have the #1 hard rock and metal album in the world, dethroning Gorillaz, which is humongous. If you think about it, that is the first week sales from the farewell album and self-titled Megadeth record. They had a little intimate party in Nashville where they played in a small room. Nashville is now the home of both Dave Lomenzo and James Lomenzo and Dave Mustaine. Don't know about Timu Mansari. I think he Matasari. I think he still lives in Sweden, and of course Dirk Verbeuren is LA based. New Megadeth on tour. They just wrapped up their tour of Canada with Exodus and Anthrax. Gotta be a new Anthrax song any day now. I hope it's for later in the year. This got me super hype. Anneka van Giesbergen, the former and I guess current vocalist of The Gathering, has a new solo album out. She's got a sort of solo EP trilogy coming. So her new record is surprise dropping. Not a surprise if you tell us in advance, but the publicist put it that way. Dropping the next Friday. So the 20th. Or the 27th. I'm sorry, I'm fuzzy on the time. But you can check out the post at our website. I may get to interview her. I'm really excited about that. We've had several nice chats in the past. I'm a massive fan of The Gathering, who recently had their classic albums put out on vinyl again for the first time in a long time. So really one of the best singers in the whole ass world. The whole ass world. I don't normally make fun of Funko because I love Funko and Super 7 and stuff like this, and I have a lot of toys. So the Metallica teamed up with Funko to release the 72 Seasons era Funkos of the band with Rob and Lars and Kirk and James, how they look kind of now with 72 Seasons branding, and they sold them all as a set and also individually. Originally, it was pretty funny. Lars was listed as More Money. So Sludge Metal Cereal is here. What's up, Sludge Metal Cereal? I love sludge metal. Interviewed many sludge metal bands. So they sent out the Rob Funko to people, and it had the packaging from Timmy from South Park. I don't know. I don't know if they're doing AI to package the toys, because I could, maybe the crab walk Rob Trujillo and Timmy with the crutches. I mean, fuck, man. How do you fuck that up? I've never gotten a Funko that was an error. And I'm sure that they're letting people keep them and they're sending them new ones. But, how do you fuck that up? That's some crazy shit. It must be AI. I usually blame everything on AI. Non-Russian spy is here. Sean Otto is here, or Otto. What's up, pal? You've been here before. Oh, my gosh. Here's another good one. Again, we live in the golden age of music. I know I've been ranting and raving on a few things this show. But, sometimes you just have to, you got to just kind of dial it down a little and appreciate that we live in an incredible time for music, which I'm really thankful for. And again, I want to just say, like, I do what I love. I got a Facebook reminder that, like, this week 15 years ago, I saw Van Halen and Kool and the Gang. Absolutely random. Van Halen and Kool and the Gang playing a show together. But it was pretty fucking amazing, I gotta say. So no complaints there, and my life is pretty good. I don't have a lot of things to say bad about anything, but I forgot where I was going with this. I just senior momented. Anyway, whatever. Moving right along. I brain farted there. I talked myself into a circle. Sorry. Maybe I do need to shut the fuck up and talk about the records. All right. Let's see. This is a cool band. I was a little late on this. This is kind of a punk, like a pop punk rock band. Morning in May. There's also Memphis May Fire and Maylene and the Sons of Disaster and all these bands. But Midnight in Malibu is their current single. And I thought it was really cool. They just finished up a tour with the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. And I thought that was a lot of fun. Testament, one of the greatest bands of all time, is reissued. They're in the middle of a bunch of reissues with their label Nuclear Blast. Their album Parabellum was one of my top 5 records of 2025. And I interviewed Chuck Billy, and I recently interviewed Skolnick again and talked to him about Metal Allegiance and Testament. But they are re-releasing Practice What You Preach. That's pretty good. I'm going to have a sore throat tomorrow. Practice What You Preach, remastered and remixed with help from the band, with a beautiful new design from the original artwork creator. And these are up for pre-order coming out in May. I just recently got the Souls of Black remaster, and it sounds fucking bitchin'. So I have a remaster of this from a while back. I did hear the first single and video today, and I was like, this is actually really good sounding. But I normally don't, as a vinyl buyer, I don't typically rebuy stuff I have already. The few times that I have, I usually give them away to Ghost Cult fans or friends. But jury's out on this one. I don't know if I'll be buying this one. COC announced a new drummer today. It was kind of a bit of a surprise. Nick Shabutura is their new drummer, replacing Stanton Moore of Galactic, who really only came back to do the album, as we know. They've had a bit of trouble. Reed Mullen died a while back. I still miss that guy. He was wonderful to me and wonderful to Ghost Cult, and I've had a lot of good experiences with Pepper and Woody. Many times I've met them and interviewed them, and I hope we will interview them again soon. But they announced their new drummer. They got the new double album, Bad Man, Good Man, Bad Man, a double album coming out on limited edition vinyl and all the things, also from Nuclear Blast, just coincidentally. Just a banger year for that label. And very hyped for the COC tour, as I mentioned earlier, and all the new COC things. Very, very exciting for one of my favorite bands ever. Another band, not quite an official reissue, but This Is Live, This Is Murderous, instead of This Is Love, This Is Murderous, by Bleeding Through. Played some Bleeding Through earlier for Melissa. She seemed to like it. Good friends of ours, good friends of Omar's. And from the tour he did with them and God Forbid, they are putting out a live in full concert on vinyl that they did of this. So super cool to see this generation of bands. A lot of these bands, Lamb of God still vital, Shadows Fall reunited playing occasionally, God Forbid reunited playing occasionally, Bleeding Through touring a lot, and maybe, making new music. So really excited for them. And then this is kind of fun. This story came up this week. Discogs, this is something for you, Dillinger, Chaos Theory. Discogs has been doing like a monthly thing that we talked about on the Glacial Musical Podcast this week, when we talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where they got the most expensive records sold every month and all time. They have these lists compiled. So a Danzig solo single, while he was still in the Misfits from 81, of Who Killed Marilyn, was originally pressed on just 100 black vinyl. And there was this purple vinyl. So this is from 81. Look at how beautiful. Look at how embiggen this. I'm sorry, TikTok. You'll have to come join me on YouTube or Twitch or Instagram to see this. Look at this thing. This thing's gorgeous. From 81. Gorgeous. $10,000. Oh, lost a light here. Haha. $10,000 this thing cost. What in the actual fucking Kentucky Fried Fuck is this? But yeah, I did not buy this. I do not. If I had $10,000, I surely would not be putting it into a vinyl. I'm moving in with my fiance. I'm getting married soon. I got some travel coming up soon. I have some plans in life. I don't have $10,000 for a record. The most I've ever spent on a record, honestly and truly, is that I paid on Discogs to get that Record Store Day 2021 release of the Amigo the Devil live covers and live tracks, because I love Amigo the Devil. We've interviewed him a bunch of times. I talked to him quite a few times, and having some light malfunctions here. I'm just going to take this down a little bit. There we go. Hey, that's not much better, but all right. So Amigo the Devil, I paid $75. Granted, I was making like $100,000 that year, so like I didn't care. I was buying everything I could that year, which is bad. You have to nail me down, Melissa. I'm not allowed to have the purse strings. Anyway, $10,000 for this 7-inch single. I don't know that I would pay more than the $75 I already paid for a record, but okay. Just a little nerd news. The Rancho Obi-Wan is here right near where I'm here at Melissa's house. And so Petaluma, California is home to Rancho Obi-Wan. Their founding guy has one of the largest collections of Star Wars toys and memorabilia ever. Guinness Book style, most memorabilia pieces ever. He has the rare Boba Fett toy with the ejector missile that's like worth $100,000 unopened and like $85,000 played with. Remember, guys, if you touch it more than 3 times, you're playing with it. You're not shaking it after peeing. But anyway, he is teaming up. Rancho Obi-Wan is teaming up with 4 other major Star Wars collectors to bring their collections to this area, the Marin Bay Area, North area, Sonoma County. Is that right, Melissa? Sonoma County, to create an actual physical giant Star Wars museum. You will go to comic book shops here in town where I'm at right now, and they have a cool little mini Star Wars museum happening there with cool life-size R2-D2 and C-3PO and Vader and Boba Fett and Luke and Greedo. So I'm really hyped about this. I'd like to go to Rancho Obi-Wan in the fall when things calm down a little bit for us, maybe for my birthday, but it's like $80 to go, and you have to kind of plan it in advance with reservations, but I would like to go sometime. And I'm just going to keep following this story because I'm hype about, I love Star Wars. Star Wars movie coming out in May, Mandalorian and Grogu. And we may watch some Star Wars tonight. We'll see how we feel when I'm done with this show. 9 o'clock. Jesus, where's the time go, Melissa? All right. That was most all the news. It's time for New Music Friday and the mailbag. Let us quickly talk about the new music out this week. And I'm going to just play a little of a band. Here's the blow up of the thumbnail. Thank you, Omar, for making these thumbnails every week. We preview all the new rock and metal releases for your New Music Friday every weekend before. So if you want to get your band on these lists, DM us or send us a link in the description of these videos on YouTube or our website. And let's just see, of the things that came out this week, what I can discuss with you all. And let's see something I can play. This is cool. I'm not going to play too much of this because I don't want to get killed. Yes, let's do this. Some alternative hardcore here. Let's find out. Give me one more second. I usually have this ready. I didn't today. All right, let's see. Here we go. Photo Crime. This is their full album, Security. Full album. And let's share the screen so you can hear some of this. And we'll do it like that. In 3, 2, 1. Let me know if you hear this. Alternative hardcore.
common man. Pussy just $1 million in my hand. You're copying the killer, everything that you crave.
Good tone.
Hallucination, my game. For what you got, bestowed upon me. The mighty power hit you for off the scene. I freed you from your daily commute. But locking you up in a monitored room. It's a crime wave.
Of course.
You better get saved. It's a crime wave. You better get saved.
Word, it's a crime wave. You better get saved. All right. I wanted to just share that because I thought it was cool. And Artifact Records, a great record label, home to Kylan Mikla, home to Kanga. We'll see what her next thing is. Cloud Rat. So many great bands on Artifact Records. Go check them out. I'm going to just quickly read through some of this list. What's out this week for Friday the 13th? So we got Against I, Anti-Life on Twisted Flesh Records. Bad Marriage, Match Made in Hell on RFK Records. The Coming Sons, Refined by the Flames on Rocks Records for some hard rock. Bound in Fear, A Mind Too Sick to Heal on Unique Leader Records for some technical death metal. Bras d'Honneur, Hate Speech on Primitive Reaction Records. Dark Ride, Blade Manor on Massacre Records. Dream Theater Live in Tokyo 2010 on Inside Out Music, same label as Devin Townsend, by the way. Iwar, Hugerheim on Season of Mist for some black metal. Bengus, Emerald Dream from the Urn Records. Photocrime, just mentioned them. Security on Artifact Records. The Gems, female punk rock band, Year of the Snake on Napalm Records. Gluttony, Eulogy to Blasphemy on FDA Records for some death metal. Gotthard, More Stereo Crush on Raining Phoenix Music, classic hard rock, Swedish hard rock. We interviewed them in the fall for the original Stereo Crush release. Harvey Rushmore and the Octopus, Mind Suckers on Taxi Gauche Records. Kalo Honka, upcoming interview with that band. Laser Blood, Slug Metal is what they call themselves on Memory Terminal Records. Lamb of God, of course, Into Oblivion, Epic Records, incredible. Lord Centipede, Centipede 2 Electric Boogaloo EP, perfect name, no notes, Morbid and Miserable Records. Mauled, When Your Eyes Are Shut EP, self-released, that's a death metal band. Monosphere Amnesia, also self-released. Monstrosity, the classic death metal band that gave us George Corpse Grinder Fisher. Their new album, Screams from Beneath the Surface, is out on the Great Metal Blade record. Moon Far Away, Aku on Lupus Lounge. The great grindcore band No Mas, No Peace on Redefining Darkness Records, great label. We should talk to them again sometime soon. Moros, Cemetery Hallucinations on Strange Mono and Knife Hit Records. Osmium Gate, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we streamed their whole new album. Cannibal Galaxy, self-released. Ravenspell, Obsidian King on Fighter Records for some heavy metal. Rush, The Grace Under Fire Super Deluxe Edition box set on Universal Mercury Records. Schattenmann, Besser als der Rest on Perception Records for some metal. Throat, Beyond the Devil's Shroud on Primitive Reaction Records. That's 2 from them this week. Let's see, what else? Vitamin X, Ride the Apocalypse on Spark Records. Wielded Steel, Sins of Your Domain on 1126 Records for some hardcore. Witchcraft, A Sinner's Child EP, which I think I have around here somewhere to show you. And Witch Fang, Dead Rat City. And also, and last and never least, Wolf Bastard, Satanic Scumpunks, which is a killer fucking record, I have to say. So, that's all the new music that came out this week. Let me know if I missed something. Don is the hottest on the podcast. Thanks, this Gen X Metal dude. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I get that. It's Don. Haha. Anyway, Don is tuning in just in time for the end of the show. But I have some stuff in the mailbag to share with you all. It's been quite a good mailbag week. So first and foremost, I went to see Witchcraft last week at Bottom of the Hill, closing soon in San Francisco. Here's their new EP, A Sinner's Child. I think this is meant to be mostly unplugged, like an acoustic record. But let's just see the digipack. They had vinyl, but not of this, and they were not taking cash. So that was kind of difficult. I don't know if I can show this. Bands, here's some advice. No nude pictures, no drawings of boobs or vaginas or peens or multiple sex parts. But anyway, here's the Witchcraft album. You can kind of see the image. Here's the Digipack CD in the middle with some beautiful writing in Swedish and English on the inside. Also, this week in the mailbag, I have been reading Giant Steps, My Improbable Journey from Stage Lights to Executive Heights by Derek Schulman. Derek Schulman helped put Roadrunner on the map, as well as a bunch of other labels. Forward is written by Tony Visconti, the producer and bassist for David Bowie. I'm really excited about this one. I'm almost finished with my other book that I will review soon. And then last and not least, because we're getting ready to plan a wedding here, let me just kind of embiggen just me. My love got me some clothes from Dixon, the flannel company. I got my very first Dixon flannel. And I also got a Dixon sort of fashionable shirt that I might wear to either the wedding or the reception kind of family thing. So first of all, these things are beautifully made. They are actually priced pretty decently. Here is this Dixon shirt. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it too well. This label is beautifully made with like bats and shit. And Dixon Cider, right? And then there's the Dixon flannel I'll show you guys in a second, which is the Lamb of God themed limited edition flannel. So this shirt, man, is just absolutely beautiful. It's very silky. And it has these little bats on it, which is fucking cool as fuck. I can't wait to... I tried it on earlier. It actually looked pretty good on me. As a round human being trying to be less round, I do have a hard time finding clothes that I like all the time. I'm wearing the Dixon hat, actually, that we also got. And also this Dixon Lamb of God flannel, which matches the Lamb of God album artwork. The green and the black and the blue and the... Apparently, there are versions of the Lamb of God album that are like translucent, glow in the dark, and the album artwork also kind of glows. So I'm pretty stoked for these new clothes. I'm reading this book. I'm listening to Witchcraft for a review, and a very good mail day. Just an update on the saga. I told you last week I was supposed to check a Descendants record that was sent to me, and they sent me the wrong one. So I contacted customer service, and they are sending me the correct label with a return ship label to send back the wrong record they sent me. And so I will hopefully show you a pea urine colored Descendants I Don't Want to Grow Up album soon. And that is our show in a very manageable 1 hour and 7 minutes, similar to last week. As I say every week at this juncture of the show, it's a tough time in the world, so please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, stay as metal as humanly possible. I think I'm going to stop dancing a jig as so much because kind of looks like the other guy with his two dicks. But I'm gonna bop. How's that? I'm gonna bop to the outro theme music. Thanks for being here. If you're new here, follow ghostcultmag.com. I'll follow you back. Have a great weekend. Don't drink and drive. Be safe. Peace. Jamie Johnson, hey, breathe. Peace, yo. Thanks for watching.